myself, Sabrina Estella, the wrestling doll, the unofficial camera woman, the one of many names, and the great Grand Slam Poobah could not join us tonight. So instead, we're having another ladies' night here at NXT with the one and only, as my partner would like to say, White Woman Wednesdays AEW. We have the one
Yes.
and only Cactus Katie.
Thank you for having me tonight. It has been an honor to do this show with you, and I'm excited to get started.
Well, we have quite a bit to talk about tonight. Was a very entertaining show, not as much full of the ladies as we would like for us, but hey, nothing wrong with that. We're going to talk about a lot of the craziness from the menses, and we will be discussing some things about the menses today, and we will discuss a little bit about that more later.
Yes.
But we did start quite a bit, and we started with what I would call Axiom's early funeral with his match against Oba Femi tonight with Nathan Frazier in his corner. And I was just thinking, this man is so insanely crazy. He felt bad for his partner, which I understand, but if you was dumb enough to get yourself a match with the one man who has had 20 plus North American Championship matches and retained every single time, and nearly killed everybody, you is one crazy ass that's really trying to get himself killed. But on the bright side, this wasn't a squash match, and he held his own for a good while. So I will give him that.
He
But
did. He held his own, but I mean, just to take this match is suicide. Oba had 150 pounds on him. This is crazy. He's like double his size. I was very nervous for Axiom.
I mean, I think everybody watching was nervous for Axiom, but he did a very good job. I've been an Axiom fan since day one. So I can say that I'm very happy to see everything that he's done. And of course, hard work was rewarded alongside with Nathan. They had, like I said before, one of the best matches in NXT. It wasn't for a title or anything. It was just around the middle or the beginning of the show, and everybody loved it. And it was like, how is everybody going to compete with that afterwards? To now becoming to now working together, becoming a tag team, being tag champions, having the whole will they, won't they break up storyline, but proving that despite all that, they're family and they'll stick together.
Yep. No, it was a good match. It was a good starter. But they had to do that because Axiom is going to be on later in the show as well. So they had to give him some time.
Well, I mean, also the fact that Nathan Frazier pulled a double for Deadline, so now they had Axiom pull a double for tonight.
Yeah.
It just gave me flashbacks, and I was like, if Nathan's gonna give him some more trouble about that one more time, I'm just gonna be like, you have been doing this since last year, and y'all are starting it again. Y'all clearly do not learn.
No.
Boys be
Boys
boys, and
don't
some
learn.
boys.
I was going to say, boys don't learn. They, will touch that electrical fence 18 times before they realize they shouldn't touch that fence.
But despite all that, match was fine, nothing to worry about. And next up in this show, we had what I'm assuming is one of our very own members of UPR's favorite part of the night, which was the match with the Bougie Bullies, aka the Meta Girls, versus Soruka and Zarya.
Yes.
Match was fine. I have nothing
This is
against all four
this
women did
is
what they
one
needed
of
to do.
our This is one of the only girl matches of the night.
I feel like we're watching 2010s, early 2000s WWE all over again.
Yeah, seriously.
But I
But
mean, I didn't really have too many things to say about it. I just thought the match was fine. I didn't really care too much for the storyline, honestly, because it's just like we already have the whole girls being bullies with Roxanne and Cora, Fatal Influence. I'm just like, is every heel gonna automatically do a bullying storyline? Like, can we just get that over with? Can we just do something else? I mean, we don't have to bring up calling somebody a pig again, because Lord knows if we do that now, we the internet wrestling community would cancel them to hell and back, worse than they
Yeah,
did before. But
very
before
true.
all this insanity happened, we had Eddie Thorpe being interviewed backstage, and he's being asked, "How could you do this? What were you thinking?" And he says, "I'm brilliant. I fooled everyone, and you can save all your negative comments about it, because you would have called somebody else a genius or a mastermind for it. Like, say if someone like, I don't know, Finn Balor or Drew McIntyre did something like that, or even Sheamus, they'd say, like, oh my God, this person's incredibly smart. They're being a genius. But if I do it, I'm a horrible person. I'm evil." And then Ava rolls up and says, "Everybody knows, Eddie, you took a shortcut. You did this to ensure that you'd get a match. The contract's already signed." And he cuts her off by saying, "Now you see how it feels to be blamed for something that you didn't do. I've always heard to
Ooh.
work smarter, not harder. And by the end of the night, we're going to call him the NXT champion."
Hmm. Yes. Um. It was a good little preview. He brought some fire to the episode
Some fire like
early
he's been
on.
needing for the last year of his career. And I say that
Yes.
nicely. Even I say that
Yes.
nicely, and I have nothing against the man. I mean, wrestling's fine. Promo work is okay. Could work on it, and I think with him turning heel, it's definitely going to help him a lot more. But I just felt like he just needed a little something more, because I felt like it was just getting kind of stale. It was just hard trying to figure out who he is.
I mean, that's true. Well, we'll talk about more about them later when they are the main card event tonight. So we'll get back to that. But yes, we had the girls wrestling after that little intro talk, and we had Soul Rusa
Ruka, so
Ruka
Ruka, and Zarya.
and Zarya versus the Meta Four,
Yes, but basically the meta girls, since
the Meta
Noam
Girls.
Dar
Yeah.
is still nowhere to be seen, and Ora Mensa has magically disappeared after his match with multiple matches with Ethan Page and Lexis King, formerly known as
Yeah.
Brian Pillman.
Uh, Zara,
Zarya.
Zarya. They, I was really impressed with them. I mean, clearly the Metaphor is a way better team, but they held their own. They demonstrated impressive teamwork, and they didn't give up. They overcame a lot of issues in that match, and I have to give it to them. They did great.
Yes, we can give them their flowers, especially because if we don't, we will get yelled at in a chat later by the executive consultant, and I do not need to hear him saying that we did not give enough flowers to Miss Jakara Jackson Harris, apparently. But we also get some footage over the weekend of Dion Lennox and Carmen chatting about Ashanti. He's saying she thinks that he thinks that she should apologize for what happened. She agrees, and they hug, and like every single cliche teen TV show, apparently, if a man and a woman hug each other and they're friends, oh my God, the world is going to explode because the person that you like is hugging a friend. Oh my God, it's a crime. It's so horrible. It's so
It
evil. Wake
is.
up, Ashanti. This isn't the 1950s. She's not your property. Okay? And if you
God
don't want
forbid
and if you don't want her
girls
to
and
act like
guys
she's
can be
yours,
friends.
don't be some kind of way with her. Because I know if a man acted like that when I'm hugging a friend of mine, we done.
You know what?
Done.
It is
Get sent off to
way
Pluto.
too
And Pluto's
common.
not a planet no more, so bye.
Way too common. It's and I love that they included that tonight because it is something that needs to be addressed. People can be friends. They can be friends with whoever they want. And you know what? Stay out of it. It doesn't include you. Get over it.
Men and women can be friends. It does not automatically lead to having a relationship or turning it into an FBW relationship. Okay, the movie Friends with Benefits does not equate what every man and woman friendship turns into. Okay, and all I'm just gonna say is Nikita Lyons added herself into that for a little bit because she wanted to stir the damn pot, and then she just said she never even liked the Fool anyway. She just wanted to make Carmen mad. Like,
I
come
mean,
on,
fair.
how much more freaking euphoria are we gonna get in this? And for those that do not know, Euphoria is one of those teen TV shows, but it is a lot more darker and a lot more somewhat realistic than a lot of the other ones that we've had.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know
But
what? I'm going to say our chat is blowing up. I don't even know where we stopped. It's crazy right now. Um, yeah.
Donna,
Let's just,
really, it's Carmen. You can read, DC.
yeah. They are all about it, and I just wanted to take a second to reach out. Mad Dog's out there. Chris is there. Jeffrey is there. Steve is there.
Oh,
Oh my
Steven, I guess
gosh.
that means the next time whenever we see each other again, I can't hug you because we're not friends.
God
I can hug
forbid.
the executive consultants. I can hug Stephen Willie Beeman. I can hug Mike Knox. I can hug the great Grand Slam Poobah. But apparently, I can't hug you because we're not friends. I'm so hurt now.
You know what? I'm all about friendship is friendship, no matter what the past may entail.
But we also do get another quick recap of the match that Hank and Tank versus Tyreek and Tyson had last week. We get that replay again of them shaking hands with Tyson. He's fine. And Tyreek's just like, I'm over this. But after that, we also get backstage footage of Tyreek berating Tyson DuPont for being too friendly. And Wesley decides to come up and play devil's advocate because he's got nothing better to do now that he and Javon are done. You already married, Steven, okay? Zip it. I don't know what culture you
Hey,
talking about, but no. You're a
uh,
nice guy. We met at the Rumble, but I would not marry you.
I mean, I hug people and I'm married. You're okay. It is not grounds for divorce to hug somebody, I swear.
If it were, God knows how many jealous men would divorce their wives or how many jealous wives would divorce their husbands because of some stupid stuff like that.
Uh, exactly. Exactly. Maturity. Mm. But
Let's
you
see.
know what? I think we're that's
Can anybody dig through the crust of the earth and dig a hole to China and find the maturity of men and women that get jealous over there, please?
jealousy is ridiculous. That's just maturity.
And that's why envy is a seven deadly sin.
Ooh.
But after all that, we get our other women's match of the night. We get Jada Parker versus Ren Sinclair. In my opinion, I think this one was a little better than the other match. Nothing against the other one. I just preferred this one more, like story wise and all that. And
Oh, you
I like
really are gonna
the
piss EC
whole,
off,
but
aren't you?
I just love both of these two girls even more. I've been a Ren Sinclair fan since day one, especially before when she was not signed, when she was Maddie Rinkowski in AEW for a bit, as well as her NWA run as being a tag champion over there.
Steve!
What world does hugging lead to that? I have hugged many a male friend, and that has never happened.
Chris is
Okay,
losing it
new
here.
rule: we do not highlight Steven's comments because they are not PG. Okay, if we had the R Truth video here, we would be playing that for every time that would happen. We're gonna have to make a new journey game. Every time Steven puts up an inappropriate comment, we take a drink of whatever we have.
You know
Make
what?
sure they don't alcohol in the complex.
Next ladies' night, we're gonna have to do that.
Well, we might have one soon, so we'll see. But I mean, this match was pretty good. Some people still didn't see what Ren can do, but ever since putting her in the no quarter catch crew, well, her making herself being put in the no quarter catch crew, has basically put a stamp on it and shown what she can do. She can roll with the punches. She can go after somebody about her size or bigger and make them look good and make herself look good and sells very well. And I am waiting for the day that NXT pulls the trigger on her and makes her a full-fledged heel because her heel work is absolutely fantastic.
She is.
But
She's a great heel.
but besides all that, match was great. I like
Match was
Ren, but I
great.
think the right person won, especially with all the losses that Jada has eaten, especially from Deadline and that underground match. She needed the W. And they're basically have been doing this whole NQCC versus OTM kind of thing going on. And I think it's eventually going to lead into a 6-man tag match with the women in it. I mean, they've done it before, they can do it again. And all I can say is thank goodness that I love you, Dice, but we don't need to draw a little Miss Parker in that chat over here, which we know you would. And for people that need to be reassured when it comes to NXT women, for EC it's Jakara, and for Dice it is Miss Parker, although it is also Freckle Sensei, as seen in our top 5 women's crushes that we had.
That was a hilarious episode. If you guys need a great laugh, go back to the top 5 women crushes.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
We had a women crush Wednesday on a Thursday. Hashtag Thirsty Thursdays.
Yep. I watched that the other day. It was a great episode. And stay tuned on this Thursday. We have myself and the wonderful Sabrina Estella Wrestling Doll on top 5 male rush. Yes.
We will get to talk, we will get to discuss, we will get to gossip about hot men's, and there might be some judging and finger pointing depending on who is brought up, as well as the sheriff. And we all know that whenever a Samoan gets brought up, we all know Dice is going to fall in his chair back because he's going to be like, damn, that was number so-and-so on my list.
You're going against 2 of the best. And you know what? I'm really looking for, yes, perfect. I'm really looking forward to this because I feel like we're going to have such opposite lists here. It's going to be jaw-dropping to see what we pull out.
Based on the discussions we've had, I'll say so.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
But a little after the match, we also have, well, after the match happens, we have the no quarter catch crew and OTM like coming out and they're like fighting each other and they start squaring up, and that's what led to Jada taking the win with her running knee. And then after that, we get Tatum Paxley, Gigi Dolan, and Shotzi Blackheart backstage, or as I call them, the New Hex Girls. And Shotzi explains that she helped them out because they remind her of herself. They keep talking like how they're the freaks and how the freaks stick together and all that stuff. And Tatum says that they're the 2 friends she didn't know she needed, and she's so glad that they'll play with her because the only other friend she had was the one that she kind of like wore down into being her friend in Lyra Valkyria. And Gigi says that they'll have to take care of Fatal Influence because JC was her best friend for quite some time until she turned her back on her. And Tatum says that she's going to rip their heads off just like she does to the dolls, and they were all laughing. With Fatal... Hello, partner. We're not slandering anybody, all right?
Oh, no.
I don't slander JC Jane, okay? I've been on the Jane train longer than you have, so. But we do have Fatal Influence laughing at them backstage, watching, they're mocking them. They're talking how, like, they don't have the unity, they don't have a championship on them, that they're not the best, and all that.
There was a lot of montage there. I mean, it was a lot of talking.
And then we have Fatal. Then we have the Unholy Union coming in, dressed up as background extras from the Britney Spears "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" music video, basically talking about laughing at them about how they are as a group in comparison to the New Hex girls, saying with Alba saying like, when I see them, I see unity, but when I see you three, I see utter turmoil and chaos.
It's
And I was
NXT.
thinking there's going to be a match brewing, which we're going to have the Unholy Union versus Jasmine Niggs and JC Jane of the Fatal Influence, with either Fallon Henley in their corner or possibly backstage waiting for whatever match she'll have coming her way that day to defend her North American Championship belt.
It will be interesting.
So, yes, my partner, you are safe. There has been no slander.
No, no,
Because
no
I'm not going to
slander.
listen to her because I have talked and defended and explained how she should have gotten more attention over time. So they're not the unholy alliance of the unholy union. Completely different.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
These
I mean,
comments are just
I can't
rolling
disagree
in.
with that
I
comment.
appreciate this, guys.
But listen, there's all kinds of strange names out there, all right? Sometimes there are some last names used as first names. But anyways, after that, we get a quick hype reel for NXT Women's Champions Pass because Roxanne does talk about how she will have her match with Julio someday, and that we will hear the winner and still NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, which I think we're gonna hear the winner and new NXT Women's Champion Julia at New Year's Evil. Because at some point Roxanne's gonna get called up because she's already done everything down there. She doesn't need to do nothing else. And Cora's gonna stay down there to try to keep things under control. Is what I think might happen. If not, they'll probably try to run the tag division. Why not? Speaking of tag,
That's an option.
speaking of tag division, we have Fraxium versus the Born Asses, that is Gallus, aka Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, for the NXT Tag Team Championship.
Okay, so the beginning of this match where Axiom couldn't even stand up, and it had been a good probably hour since he actually wrestled. He couldn't even stand up to walk down the ramp. Okay, that just showed you what kind of match it was going to be. And for him to go out into the ring like he was going to start the match and then question it, I was like, oh, what's going on here? I think he made a good choice by letting the other guy go first. What was his name?
Nathan.
Fraser.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what happened when they had their match in Deadline.
Yep.
Axon did most of the work because he knew that Nathan was going to be exhausted. Nathan went up against four men. One of them was the one that Axiom took on tonight. So he dealt with only
Well,
one and couldn't move much. Nathan
yeah.
dealt with four and couldn't move much at Deadline. So
Mhm.
basically, they felt each other's pain.
Well,
But
I think Fraser he held his own. He did well tonight without Axiom's full potential.
well, he did pretty damn good. Steven, do not say
Yes.
that about Roxanne ever again, please. But match was fine. I enjoyed it, even though Gallus bore the ever living hell out of me. Match was okay. This match was to show that anything can get thrown at these two, and they will push through and persevere and still be our NXT Tag Team Champions.
Shocking.
I mean, they've done it before. We've had hints of them possibly breaking up, and they've proven us wrong time and time again. Hopefully, it doesn't
Yep.
lead to a breakup storyline because it's too predictable. Maybe just be like, we had our run as tag team champions, and I respect you, brother, But now I want to go after singles gold because they both have had moments where they've went after singles gold.
Yeah, I mean, to be expected.
But a la Phoenix Splash from Frazier and Wolfgang, them boys retained them belts. And I was
They
very happy.
did. They did. So we had a couple more interviews before the end of the show tonight.
Yes, we did. We had Javon Evans hyping up Hank and Tank, and they hype him up back. Ethan Page pushes past them, like feeling all lost and hopeless and in despair. And then we get Charlie Dempsey leading Lexis King through a very interesting workout using a deck of cards to interpret the
That
use
was
of the
interesting.
workout routine.
Yeah. One of my degrees is exercise science, and I was just kind of humored by this. I was like, that's not a bad way to go about it. It kind of keeps it exciting, but very untraditional for sure.
Well, I mean, they did bring back the NXT. They brought some people from NXT UK. Some have gotten called up, and some are still down there. Ironically, most of the women got called up, and some of the men are down there still. But they still have one thing left from NXT UK, and that is the NXT Heritage Cup. Let the
It
women
is
brag a
true.
little bit.
It's true. I'm about to get my third next November, so I know.
But after all of that, we get Ethan Page walking out all sad and depressed and looking like he's gonna cry. And he's apologizing, saying he's gotta get something off his chest. Everybody has the right to boo me. I've gotten the same energy at home the last couple weeks. He deserves it. Nobody understands the journey I've had or the sacrifices he made. I promised my daughter I'd win the big one, and he did. Became
And
NXT
I
champion.
didn't.
That with talking to his wife, that without him, without her, there is no Ethan Page. He did it, but it rips him apart because every time he loses, his wife loses, his daughter loses, his son loses. The fans who blindly supported him, they lose. And when he goes home and his daughter looks through his bag and doesn't see the title, when his son cries because he can't find a video of dad winning, when he goes home and sees disappointment in his wife's eyes, it eats him up. He doesn't know if he loves this anymore, and he lost his smile. And after all,
Bah.
Javon Evans comes in, coming out there to apologize for what he said. Maybe Ethan Page understands about how hearing about other people's compliments can suck. Came in here with the ego, doesn't think it's the real Ethan. He's seen the real Ethan at Heatwave. It's not about what he did in the match, what he did after. Won the title, looked at his kids and his wife, said that he loves them. He's going to be real. Not everybody can do that, especially not as fast as he did. The joy of seeing his family, the smile, that's a proud dad, a proud husband, a smile from somebody who busted his ass for 18 long years to get what they deserved. He tells him that
18
he deserves
years.
it here. The fans want him here, that he should drop all ego and show us girl dad, proud husband Ethan Page, and that he's proud of him from the bottom of his heart. He thanks him, saying it's right. He's so clear. He shouldn't worry about losing everything. Then he decks him with the mic, punches him on the ground, gets a chair from the ring, horse collars him with it, stomps him, and basically breaks the boy's mouth and might have possibly broken that man's jaw, which made the executive consultant become a fan for the first time in God knows how long, probably. Because everybody knows he's one of the biggest Ethan Page haters up until he broke Javon Evans' face, because apparently he doesn't like Javon Evans for whatever particular reason. I don't know who you're talking
That
about. I've always been an Ethan Page fan.
Ethan Page destroyed his jaw. That there was blood splattered everywhere on that match or on that mat. It was pretty disgusting. I don't know if that was a blood bomb or if that was really his. And then commentator. The commentator. I don't know. It wasn't Booker T. It was the other guy.
Joseph.
Yeah. He goes, I don't want to be graphic here, but I think I just saw teeth on the ground. I'm like,
That is not that
really?
graphic, Vic. He
Yeah.
talks
It
like
could be
if
way worse.
2-year-olds were watching.
I mean, you know what? They panned the stands, and I thought there was some very intellectual uh, young people in that stand. Not 2-year-olds, but it's crazy.
It
But they
is
were in
crazy.
Boston tonight, I think. It wasn't even like a home match.
Well, no, because the NXT Performance Center is very different than them traveling elsewhere. Which I think they might. I don't know where exactly they were because I wasn't able to see the very beginning because it was I was trying to watch on time, but I was having problems watching it tonight, so I couldn't see where exactly they were at. But
They
we
were in Massachusetts. They were right outside Boston. I know that.
all right.
So,
So we get a quick recap of everything. We get Trick Williams being interviewed. He offers his sympathies to Devon for what had happened a la Ethan Page. And he talks about how he's going to kick Eddie Thorpe's ass. With Obafemi, the future NXT champion who is going to dethrone him at New Year's Evil, wishes him luck and says that he hopes that he wins because he'd rather take the title from Trick versus Eddie Thorpe. And then we
uh
get. Oh, here we go.
oh,
But
oh.
we do get a Stephanie Vaquer promo in Spanish at Cora Jade, built around the idea of everything that she had worked hard for and how Cora doesn't know it, and that she's going to kick her ass and prove everything to her. And she's going to do as a wrestler that I have seen at shows and that I've met and have chatted with would say, ella va, she is going to poner su pila. She's going to put on her boots and she's going to kick some ass.
All right, all right. Time out. We have to
Go ahead.
address Chris
Drag him down
Harris's
for that
comment.
if you want to. That's
I
fine.
think he's referring to AEW on my
Yes,
other
she is
show that you
referring
can
to
catch.
AEW. I've
You
seen the
can
picture.
catch me on Wednesday nights. Um,
All
yes,
Elite Wednesdays.
All Elite Wednesdays, All Elite Women Wednesdays, and Friends, because you never know who we're gonna have on the show. Um, but you know what? We may need Steve on the show one day. He'll hate it, but we should have Steve on the show.
He's already reviewed AEW enough. I
I know,
doubt he'll
right?
want to go back to doing it.
Mm. But no, yeah, there were people, like I said, they were quite young and immature looking. So at least when we do have people in the stands, they're mature, have money, and want to be there, not because their mommy and daddy's drug them there. So we'll see. But no, I truly did enjoy tonight's matches, so we'll see. But they were in Lowell Memorial Arboretum. This is a historic venue known for hosting entertainment events, which also include wrestling. So they were in Lowell, Massachusetts.
But they give us a preview of everything that's going to happen next week. They pull up some matches, make some announcements. We do have a fatal four-way for the number one contender for the NXT Tag Team Championships, which, based on all the people that have been listed, I think it's going to be Hank and Tank because OTM and No Quarter Catch Girl are probably going to cost themselves. And the other team, no. But anyways, we have Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship, which
You
Eddie
know
held
what?
his
We
own.
should.
He played the role of a heel character very, very well. And he most definitely showed that he played very smart in faking that attack to ensure that he could get a title shot and not get beaten up at deadline, which was another reason why he was great. He did that because he felt like, yeah, I probably would have gotten my ass beat. So I got a title match and avoided all of that. But
He
Trick
did.
Williams did his thing as well. And I
Well,
was
maybe
going to say,
before
hey,
we
you
get
do
into
have a fan. It's
full,
Booker T.
maybe before we get into a full breakdown of the main event, maybe we should run a commercial real quick.
Please do.
All right. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Ooh. Let's see. No.
Hey, this is Matthew Brittle, the King of Bros, and you're listening to Unpopular Review.
Oh, Fanny Obama, oh, Fanny Obama.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
No, why?
Who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black.
All right, but we are back. That's just a few of the nominations this week on the show. But before we get into y'all favorite segment of the week, that's she says anyway, my daughter segment, Michaela Wonders.
Ladies and gents. And the winner is, drumroll please, Wondering About WWE.
Well, you guys' favorite segment won, and I've also been around for, I think, 3-4 months.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and
I am the EST of UPRE. Thank you very much.
And just for the record, y'all, I do not prep that little girl.
She just went off on everybody.
Breakout star of the year, Tiffany Stratton, Braun Breaker, Joe Hardy. We got
Hardy.
What's his damn name?
Hendrick.
I hate his fucking name. Then we got the Mike Knox show, the NXT review show, the AEW show, SmackDown review show, the Raw show for best UPR show of the year. I won it last year. I hope I win it again this year from the people. Then we got the best host of the year. We got myself, Mike Knox, Bad Guy Jack, Cactus Katie, Z is Silent, Venomous Vinny, and executive consultant.
Who won this?
You know it's rigged. Yeah. Watch BEC.
Hey, Mike Knox is the winner.
I get shit.
All right, Mike.
You know, that's 2 times in a row.
beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
What it is I love this award. I don't think I deserve this award. This is 2 years in a row, and I don't want this one. But I love you for it.
That's like the only one.
All right, well, who is our winner, EC? Oh. The Mike Knox Show!
It's all I wanted.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Thank you, God. Victory! Lose it, bite my tongue for no one. I put you on blast. So all the news channels, y'all can kiss my ass. YouTube or Google me. Turn it up and play it. Cause many people think it. I just had the balls to say it. Lose.
Hold on here. Is this the barbershop? Is this the barbershop? It's the barbershop. Yeah, I mean, we can't talk straight in the barbershop. Then where can we talk straight? We can't talk straight nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation.
Okay. Did we just watch a commercial that literally was all about one person?
Yes.
The one and only Mike Knox. Love him. Great mentor. Loves everybody. But that was an entire minute of Mike Knox.
That was a movie.
That was a movie on all.
It was a Mike Knox minute movie.
There you go. But love him. Happy for him. So excited for him and Michaela. That was awesome. So, but back to NXT. Yeah, 2 minutes, 39 seconds. That makes more sense.
Well, I can't exactly do a MMM type thing with 2 minutes, but I'm just gonna stick with the Mike minute movie. So,
yeah, the Mike Knox, produced by Mike Knox, starring Mike Knox,
directed by Mike Knox, written by Mike Knox,
directed by yes.
Music scored by Mike Knox. Mm-hmm. Listen, everybody in UPR has their own thing. We say all that about Mike Knox. We call the executive consultant the heel of UPR, which he acts like it very much so if we don't agree with everything that he says, because apparently his opinion is right, even though sometimes it is not. The great Grand Slam Pooba does not enjoy any JCJ and slander, so we don't talk about it, and he uses the word dominate in just a way. The executive consultant also has just a second, which we turn into a drinking game, but I have no drinks near me, so I cannot drink anything.
Yes. Well, main event card. Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorne.
Thorpe.
Did I say that right? Thorpe? See, you know what? I'm just known for screwing up names.
And so is the great Grand Slam Pooba, and that is why I am here to help.
Oh, thank God. See, it takes two. It takes two to get that, make sure everybody's
It takes two to make
that's because I spelled Thorn, but now reading the lineup, it is Thorpe. So that's not really my fault. I did read it correctly. What I had wrote.
Well, apparently everybody likes it when you mess names up and such.
I know.
Based on the clip that I played on the award show.
Oh, numerous times. I don't know. It'll be many years before that stops playing.
Yeah, it probably will, but
yeah. Oh, well. Then again, it was totally off the cuff, but very humorous. So.
And if you can laugh about it, then.
Oh, I do for sure. So, yeah. Well, that's why they put me in this spot because we're too similar. Kinda.
If we didn't have anybody that didn't mess up names here on NXT, it's not normal.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, well. All right. Well, Trix Williams did successfully defeat Eddie to retain his title.
But the ref was knocked out at some point during the match, which Eddie did take the opportunity to pin Trix Williams and have the audience counting up to 10 with him getting annoyed. With then having another ref running and then the other ref eventually waking up. They're both counting on opposite sides, and they couldn't agree on a finish because on one hand, Trix pinning him. On the other hand, Eddie has his hand on the rope. So Ava comes out, talks with the refs, and basically it's going to be a no finish, and then we all know what's going to happen next week. Eddie's going to moan and groan and whine and bitch and complain about it and try to talk to Ava, and Ava's going to be like, I'm done with dealing with your shenanigans and stupidity. You're not getting another shot. That's what I think is going to happen. Is it going to happen? Probably not the same way that I'd say it because she's a little nicer than that, but...
She is. I am surprised that they made that.
I bet she secretly has a punching bag or a dummy somewhere in that office and punches it when the cameras aren't there with the stupidity she has to deal with.
Oh.
Lord knows I would need 5 of those if I were working there.
I wouldn't last very long. There'd be some HR issue there. Yep. But, I mean, it was a good match. It kept us on our toes.
Yes, indeed.
Unfortunately, we did not get an ending that anybody truly wanted, but it led us to wonder about the future. So,
and only time will tell us next Tuesday.
Yeah. Next Tuesday. So, well, Estella, we've come to that point of the night. We have wrapped up our show, and we need to talk about what's coming up the rest of the week.
Yes, indeed. We should talk about what's going to come up for the rest of the week. So we have a little something for everybody here on Unpopular Review. We have the Mike Knox Show on Mondays at 6 p.m. for the intelligent wrestling fan, followed by Monday Night Raw right after Raw is over at 10 with EC and Freckle Sensei, NXT Tuesday with myself and normally the great Grand Slam Pooba, AEW Woman Wednesdays with Cactus Katie the Sheriff and whoever else pops in to make an appearance. Top 5 and/or prediction shows on Thursdays and you get Friday Night SmackDown reviews on a Saturday afternoon at noon or 1 p.m. with the Z is Silent and Vic the Mark. And speaking of top 5 and/or predictions on Thursdays, this coming Thursday, the ladies
special
of UPR are going to have our turn to be shameless and talk about our top 5 men's crushes in pro wrestling. So we have our draft.
There are some top contenders on that background.
Not on my list per se, not high up. Some of them I saw and I was just like, why did Dice put them up there? But I'm not going to say much about it until Thursday, but
we are going to be so polar. It's going to be a great show.
Yes. You already know I've had my list since I did my top 5 women's crushes. Y'all may see.
Are you dressing up?
For women and for the men. So I am ready.
Wow. Are you dressing up, Miss Sabrina?
I'll have a little fun with it. I don't got no men wrestling cosplay to do it, so I can't go that far, but I might wear a shirt of somebody that I might bring up. Who knows? We'll see. And I'm going to put on
like I said earlier in the show, I watched the Man Crush, and I saw your outfit, and it really made me jealous. And
well, I mean, we were talking about women's crushes. How could I not dress as at least one of them? I didn't have a weight short enough to be Rhea Ripley, so I had to settle with being Chelsea Green.
Yeah, that's okay. She is current U.S. first time.
The inaugural women's U.S. champion. And I did say in the chat that my tops were Naomi, Machin, or Miss Chelsea Green. And all was right with the world. Chelsea finally got what she deserved, and I know the executive contradiction did not like that whatsoever. Well, guess what? Too bad.
She's there. She's there. She's got it. First time husband and wife both hold it. It's awesome.
And I am just going to say this in regards to TNA because I have a feeling somebody might bring it up eventually. Yes, they brought back Tessa Blanchard. Do I think it is the smartest move? No. Do I think they might try to bring down the controversy? That I don't know all the gist of it. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 videos today that explained a little bit of it. Do I think it's going to help? Probably not a whole lot because I think she's pretty much blacklisted in most wrestling places. I was working a wrestling show a year ago, and I saw her there because she was working the show. She had a match with a couple people. And I was just thinking, I thought she'd be blacklisted working anywhere in America. But I guess
maybe she'll go to New Japan.
It was nice enough to say, yes, we'll bring her back, despite the fact that our former 3-time Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace, is not going to want to work with her, even though she attacked her. And I'll talk about whoever wanted executive contradiction because I knew somebody was probably going to ask.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. And I love how in the comments people are like, Katie's ready for a nap. Or Katie's ready to close her eyes. It's very true. It's come to that point.
It's been a long day for everybody. She's got to do an AEW review show tomorrow at 10.
3 shows this week, guys. 3 shows.
She's a hard worker.
You guys are going to be so tired.
Another reason why this one was nominated for Best Host of the Year. Yes. One of which I nominated because I'm that nice.
And co-Rookie of the Year with the fabulous Freckles. Very honored to be. So, very excited.
It is an honor.
I am going to go get some sleep.
Just sometimes feels better to win.
That's okay. I'll share it, and I am honored. So, I was just honored to be nominated, to be truthful. So,
I was just happy to be nominated myself, so I am fine with that.
Girl power.
But this has been the NXT review show. So, we also do some plugs for anything that we do outside of UPR. I have my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where you can go and watch matches throughout Central Florida and occasionally South. I was at a wrestling show this past weekend called Hope for the Holidays, a charity show started by a wrestler that was a couple wrestlers working the show, where they worked to get in with a foundation that helps kids and families make sure they have the Christmas to celebrate.
Very cool.
Everybody brought toys and such, and it was a free show, lots of wrestling. There was a couple familiar face. There was a familiar face in AEW / Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal there, part of the main event. And I didn't know this, but somebody did mention we actually had Dean Malenko's kids in the show.
Very cool.
Is there anything you would like to plug in, Miss Katie, before we say au revoir for the night?
Well, we all know that I am a rookie here, and so I don't have my own show outside of UPR, mostly because my family takes up way too much of my time. But I do have a Cactus Katie Instagram if you'd like to follow me there, and plugging some different shows while with that. So hopefully I can get some lives going eventually, but that also takes a learning curve to figure out how to do it. So we'll see.
Which is fair. And I will also plug for my co-host, the Big Pop Theory podcast. Don't forget to give it a listen. They always put out episodes around Sundays or Mondays, depending on when they're able to put it out. They put a new one out not that long ago. Go ahead, give it a listen. Spotify, anywhere that you can listen to podcasts, they'll be there.
Awesome.
And that is our show. Meanwhile, somebody played the Scooby-Doo song knowing that my partner does not like that.
Well, you know what? The mice will play when the cat is away.
Indeed.
Yep.
But that is our show.
Good night, everybody. Good night.